something that he can.
That's why I do what I do and you do what you do, because I would just as soon shoot you in the ass and catch you when you stop.
And Jack says, get him.
Yeah, I saw my dog get running. Yeah, his dog ran.
Oh, here we go.
Stop! Don't you touch that gun! Don't!
This body camera footage released late last week involving the April shooting death of 25-year-old Silas Lambert. Lambert was distraught as emergency crews responded to the overdose of his friend. Police say Lambert reached for a gun while the officer tried to calm him down. The DA decided last week not to file charges against the officer. The family says they only heard the news as it was announced to the public, along with the body cam footage. They met with the DA this morning at the Caddo County Courthouse to express their frustration.
And then it was told to the news conference, publicized to everyone, and this family was learning about it outside on the lawn that day. They didn't know. They'd never seen the video. They were never told of anything, so they didn't know. They were blindsided.
And I think the bottom line is the family still has a lot of factual questions about what happened.
We spoke with the DA, who says while no charges will be filed, he will continue to talk with the family about any questions they need answered.
What you just heard was Officer Charles Maldonado of the Anadarko, Oklahoma Police Department on April 2nd, 2024. The female that comes in is Nurse Clarissa Miller, that works alongside her husband, Jamie Miller. At the time, I did not realize that Officer Maldonado had killed an individual 3 years prior. This is one of several references made threatening either me, the patient at Anadarko Rural Wellness Hospital, as well as joking about the fatal shooting in the summer of 2021 that the DA in Grady County, Caddo County, decided to not charge Officer Maldonado.
Did he just say we need to figure out why you can't find your penis? Is that what he just said?
Kay was giving the patient a hard time.
Oh, it's like, I can find it. I've played whack-a-mole with someone 600 pounds. We'll find it. Just pee in the damn bottle.
Just a few minutes have passed on this lunacy-filled night, and you can hear that I've already been threatened with gunfire and penile mutilation. If I hadn't experienced this, I would laugh about this shit myself. But it just goes to reinforce and prove that these police officers are not heroes, but sociopathic, psychotic, lunatic, 75 to 80 IQ, having belligerent gang member, punk ass, unwanted, useless pieces of vile shit. They could have stopped this at any given time because they had previously just pulled me over and saw that I was fine. Because if I wasn't fine 5 minutes before going into that hospital, they would have noticed and forced me in there for psychiatric help. That is not why I was here. I had multiple symptoms giving me all the indications that I had had something serious like a stroke or a mild heart attack occur. My vision went down by about 90%, and what I mean by that, it's like wearing dark sunglasses. My eyes could not focus. I could not see more than about 2 feet in front of me. Everything else was blurred at that distance further than 2 feet. Had an entire side of my body lock up, as well as on the other side my jaw. Strange sensation on top of my head, like mini plungers going back and forth on your skull. Extreme discomfort in the left quadrant of my stomach, as well as pain and a loss in sensation in a foot, curling up of multiple fingers. That when it occurred, it lasted some time, among a few other things. I could tell just after a few minutes this place was not interested in doing anything. And when I mean anything, not even an examination. As it says later in the medical notes that they kept for me from 6 months, stated they did their examination by vision.
You get to take everything off.
I went there last week
Your
and there was
personal belongings come with me. Take everything off.
Big man, don't do this.
You don't know who I am.
That's correct. I didn't know who you were when I went in there. But I know who you are now. Unemployed. You have a grandiose sense of self, entitlement to ad nauseum levels, and or a dangerous fucking predator. You thought it'd be just another night of sexually assaulting, torturing, toying with, and harming another soul that entrusted your sham of a hospital, never anticipating that they'd leave way worse off than when they came in. You people call yourselves professionals? You're professional fuck-ups. I notice there's a McDonald's to the entrance of your neighborhood. After this shit comes out, that might be your only place that you can get employed.
Can someone come up here and ask for help? And then you go into overdrive.
You brought all of this on.
No, nobody brought this onto themselves. I came up here to ask you for
I
help.
want you to take your clothes off.
No.
I have to take all your personal belongings.
No,
Okay, when the officers get here, I'll have them remove them.
no, we are not doing this.
We are.
Like I've often told my friends, don't get into something if you can't do it completely. And a person that has an aversion to psychiatric patients has no business being a nurse.
It's my friend. Yeah, but he rang the bell of I want to kill myself now, so I need all of his clothes off and him in that gown.
Alright, anything's hot.
Be careful.
Thank you, man.
They got a hot call as they pulled up. Some shit's going down. It's going down. They'll probably be coming in. This is Brady.
Damn, girl, there's much easier ways to ask me out on a date. You'd figure with a face like that of a nutsack, or an ass cheek, or a yeast-infected ingrown toenail, that you'd at least try to make up for it by having a better personality. But who am I kidding? There's a reason you and your husband work in Anadarko and not somewhere like Oklahoma City, where the pay is substantially better.
Big man, I'm fine. I'm not gonna hurt anybody, but this is, I go through this all the time and I can't get any help anywhere.
But you're also
at the wrong place.
that doesn't have psychiatry. We don't have GI. We don't
Okay,
have what
but
you're looking
basically,
for.
What a great novel idea. Use excessive force on a patient because 3 you idiot motherfuckers were sharing one brain and got one that was defective and broken.
And then you're going to tell me you're suicidal, so fine, we'll draw some blood. We'll get you sent over to Taliaferro.
But once you
No,
ring
but-
that bell, you don't leave this facility.
Because you just rang the bell and told me you're suicidal. Over right there, and that made you
you know,
suicidal.
y'all are, no, we're not doing
So,
this.
we are.
We're not doing this. Y'all are gonna have a lawsuit.
Okay, so you get to take
I told
everything
them
off,
that I was not suicidal.
but you just said it. You were. So you get to take
Look,
everything
I
off.
went there last week
Your
and there was
personal belongings come with me. Take everything off.
Big man, don't do this.
You don't know who I am.
What the hell does homosexuality have to do with me? I'm a straight individual. I'm just saying, I don't want to sexual harass anybody. How in the hell can someone come up here and ask for help? And then you go into overdrive.
You brought all of this on.
No, nobody brought this onto themselves. I came up here to ask you for
I
help.
want you to take your clothes off. I
No.
have to take all your
No.
personal belongings.
No.
Okay, when the officers
Notice how the husband, Jamie Miller, says that I've calmed down throughout the entire 7 or 8 hours that they were in charge of me. She contradicts him in writing multiple times, stating that I'm homicidal, suicidal, combative, and difficult, when her husband literally says the opposite. Patient has calmed down multiple times, is stable. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their household when they get this lawsuit.
No. Take your clothes off. I have to take all your personal belongings.
No.
Okay, when the officers get here, I'll have them remove them.
No, we are not doing this.
We are. You'll have to be careful to draw blood. Look, it's my friend.
You got a security guard.
Yeah, but he rang the bell of I want to kill myself now, so I need all of his clothes off and him in that gown.
Alright, anything's hot.
Be careful.
Thank you, man.
They got a hot call as they pulled up. Some shit's going down. It's going down. They'll probably be coming in. This is Brady bullshit. I do too.
Notice how this Titanic-sized thunder cunt says stuff like shit's going down. And this either is some Brady type shit or Grady type shit. I'm glad to see that she was getting aroused and having a good time, as it appears we both had a sexual experience that night. Mine was unwarranted and uninvited and unwelcomed, and hers was just a natural reaction of a psychopath.
I'm not drawing his blood till he's handcuffed to the bed. We can write down APD here at this time so we can make notes about his freak out. Ooh, monster slushy. That's pretty good. I almost left it too long. Yeah. You can't stay here, sir. That's not how that works. Nope. I'm outside.
She better familiarize herself with the 72-hour rule. It's an actual law that states they have up to 72 hours to get you somebody, mainly an advocate or a hospital official, that will mediate when you have a grievance in treatment in an emergency room. You don't have the right there to stay 72 hours, but they have up to 72 hours to answer. And if it goes past that, they might be looking at some sanctions and some fines. It's meant for crews just like this that refuse to do any due diligence and or offer any standard of care. I won't be sharing but 1 or 2 sound bites from each video segment I have, as you just cannot give out everything before you start negotiating and or going to trial. I never want to embellish, but what you heard here keeps up the same type of energy, same type of foolishness, same type of torture, same type of name calling, same type of abuse, physical and sexual in nature, as well as not respecting body autonomy, some of my refusals when I knew they wanted to continue to hurt me, and much more.
I know. They want he wants to know if you guys are gonna have a conference call, whatever, the tablet thing, whatever. Can y'all talk to him? That's what he's wanting now, so we can.
He don't get it now. We have to draw the blood. We have to do the things.
Gotcha. That's the call.
He don't get it now.
It's about 1,000 different stories, but listen, at this point in time,
Going back to child molestation in childhood.
Child and everything else, huh?
He wants to jump straight to talking to someone on the tablet, so he's played this game before, and that's not how it works. We gotta draw our blood. We gotta do our things.
Let's do another EKG on
And he knows
2.
this.
I think I'll do that's it, and just a little nitro paste just to say we did something that we did that. Only could be has to smell that. What you giving me that look for? I know this is exciting everybody, but what do we expect? It shows up at 2 in the morning with
Well,
those kind of complaints.
Yeah. Because no one will just make him do what we need him to do, so either make him do what we need him to do, or just...
Mark the fuck out.
Well, PD's here. They're in the room.
Is it the one that pulled him over that gave him the
Yes.
ticket?
It's Maldonado.
Well, Maldonado is the one that made him suicidal because he gave him the ticket.
Oh,
Right outside in front of the hospital.
I'm sure Maldonado would look.
Let me get you a bigger
He
robe.
made him suicidal.
He's willing to get it. I need a bigger robe. That is not gonna fit. We have anything bigger? Got 2 of them at least.
Yeah.
He's willing to get into the robe now. Nowadays we would just step him down and just do that.
I'm ready, but I will not draw his blood until he is
I got you.
restrained.
We're gonna restrain him. I got a set of cuffs. I'm gonna cuff one arm to the deal and have me hung on.
Okay.
Shots or something.
Yep, because you throw the spit down there and they call the police and...
Not really my thing.
We already know why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
He's told us.
He's like, I don't have the services you're looking for.
Nope.
Why would you come to the hospital that day? Well, you can introduce me to the ones in the city.
Thank you.
No. There has to be a medical emergency reason and you don't have one.
Well, you need to write a script for Pepsi. Is that really all you want? Your primary care should have done that. You don't have to come to the emergency room for something your primary care should be doing. But you always know the 2 o'clock is the crazy one.
I was content to keeping it to real medical problems like stimmies. I do much better with them. Psych is not my thing. I don't have the patience for that.
Nurse Miller? Where's she at?
Which one?
Oh, there's 2 Millers?
Yeah, Jamie Miller and Clarissa Miller.
Clarissa.
Hey! She got a ticket. So he didn't get a ticket. He said he got a ticket. Yeah. But she said you did that and needed suicide.
The steward is just full of shit.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
I gotta get some meds real quick and I'll be in there. None of us were. We've all put up with this bullshit.
But we all have privilege.
Yeah. I got privilege.
I'm really sorry for this.
I've worked for every damn thing I've got.
Thank you. Look where I was raised. You would understand that.
So I understand. I come from white trash. But for one side anyway. The other side's not bad. But one side was trash.
He's not privileged, Nate.
Take off your necklace, take off your name badge.
Why is he gonna grab it?
I don't want him to.
Yeah, don't, like, I told him he had to be cuffed to draw blood.
Oh.
So,
Just don't give him
don't have
anything to
anything
hold
that he
open.
can.
That's why I do what I do and you do what you do, because I would just as soon shoot you in the ass and catch you when you stop.
Stand back says, get him.
Yeah, I saw my dog get running. Yeah, that dog ran.
Oh, here we go.
Well, no, I'm saying, I'll come
You went to treatment.
Did he just say we need to figure out why you can't find your penis? Is that what he just said?
Kay was giving the patient a hard time.
Oh, it's like, I can find it. I've played whack-a-mole with someone 600 pounds. We'll find it. Just pee in the damn bottle.
I'm not gonna watch you do it. I'm just gonna let you pee, man. Get it all out, man. You got this, buddy.
Pep talking, Kay. Come on. You can do it. You can do it.
Face cracking up right now, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your shit, he looks like.
I think so.
Panic attack, fear, suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know if he's having strokes because this whole side just locks up. When he gets up, they'll lock up for 2 whole minutes and having a stroke.
Probably.
Should have an MRI.
I told him that's an MRI, not a stroke. And we don't have MRI here. We're a small facility.
Mm-hmm.
I've already told you I don't have specialists to give you to. All your stuff is chronic conditions. You're not giving me a Pepsi for my stomach. I can give you a Pepsi for your stomach. It's over the counter. It's something primary care should take care of. When my primary care says he's dumb, he can only do so much. I'm pretty sure he didn't say he was dumb and could only do so much. I'm pretty sure he said there's only so much in the primary care offices anyone will do and they can get you referrals. And then if the GI doesn't think you need to be on any medicines, then I would agree with the GI in that meeting.
Special for us. So freaking lucky.
That tells the doctor shopping all by itself and you're 45 minutes away from it. Not
A
nice.
couple of reasons people call the police.
You've already threatened me, and I didn't even raise my voice. I'm privileged.
Can you have one?
Huh? Until I get some labor work. It's almost a game of skill and luck all at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to place them just right.
He done tore off the 4-wheel drive from his Crocs.
Or what have you know that is speed mode?
Until you got no traction.
They flip that thing back that holds on their heel, that's called speed mode.
Well, that's locking it in 4-wheel.
I did see a girl the other day that came in with, I guess it was probably over a month ago, that came in with Crocs that were solid slick on the bottom. And she wondered when she fell down on concrete. I was like, are these the shoes you were wearing?
Your shoes were slick.
I was like, you don't have any traction.
On the top of the crash cart is his bag of clothes.
That's his other bag.
Yeah, this is his bag, and then his clothes are on top of the crash cart.
Where would you like to have all of this things together?
Right back here.
She was one of those that she's been lying.
Will he give you what?
Came in with this slick shoe, this slick Crocs would have been mine. I've been like, sweet, these things are so slick you can't do anything. One of them was put a Kotex on them and get more traction. They would have died. Put a Kotex on it. My buddy pulled a deal on his wife the other day. His little daughter was in the back seat and she just died laughing. She's 10. His wife, she shouldn't even be able to catch that joke. She said, Mom, I know all the bad words. I just don't
I
use
know
them.
all the bad words.
They're
They do, though.
Notice all the bullshit, non-constructive, bizarre subject matter that they were talking about when they need to be working on patients. It's not like you have tons of stable patients to where you can back there and fucking play on your computer, play card games, or gossip. I've worked at an insane asylum, and doing that is dangerous, and you'll further be introduced later to audio that shows through their own admittance and asking where Dr. Haynes is multiple times And he wakes up and says, "Did Brian ask about me?" And they're like, "Who's Brian?" And he's like, "Well, I must have had a dream." As well as hearing the security guard in his anti-gay tirade out of the middle of nowhere saying, "I like girls." That we all know when that's the only thing that comes out of a person's mind time and time again is them having problems of projectionism. He was dangerous simply because of how stupid and incompetent that he was. And at the end of this crazy shit, as you hear him in there lollygagging with them, he comes and gives me a hug and wishes me the best. I didn't want to be fucking touched. It's what this whole thing was about. And after that hug occurred, whatever multiple substances they gave me without my permission ended up finally knocking me out. And that hug is about the last thing that I remember. Their plan backfired, and it became more difficult to process me to go to an insane asylum or a mental health facility than it did to just do their due diligence and come in there for what my initial and only complaints were. They never included mental health. On a side note, she has a daughter that has worked or is working currently at Grady County. And in further recordings of this night, she confirms that something fishy is going on over there too, that they send their suicidal people, which they were trying to label me falsely, to the care of the sheriff's department. Well, it wasn't that long ago that Grady County had like every single redneck, moronic, racist little shit kicker town here in Oklahoma suffers from is multiple jackasses that work there, forcing themselves sexually upon the inmates. Not one damn thing will come of it, because we live in a do-nothing, conservative, shut your fucking mouth type state. Or I'm more likely to end up with a bullet in my fucking head as a victim, and a continuous one at that, than these motherfuckers that do this stuff on the regular. In my next video, I'll actually introduce myself and work on the presentation for the next segment of audio that I was able to get when these clowns decided to label me as a false order of detention patient, because either that was much easier for them, or the automatic pipeline that they have going to Taliaferro Mental Health here in Comanche County, Lawton, Oklahoma, is the only way that they make and or maximize their funds. It's not like we haven't seen judges and district attorneys and our social workers all in cahoots, sending children to juvenile centers for years on end over the most minuscule of infractions. Because further down the line, those individuals have ghost ownership and or kickbacks coming for the massive amounts of kids they steer their way.